Alright, I'm going to resume where I left off with the, whatchamacallit, using up that nodule. Alright, I gotta pick the smallest flake that I'm going to use for the arrowheads or the little dart points. Whichever it turns out to be. I think this is the smallest, but I have to look for one that possibly has a curve, right? I mean, has a curve and possibly smaller yield. This one's pretty straight. This one has a curve. This might actually yield a smaller point than this one. I'm going to pick the worst one first to make the first arrowhead, and then I'll copy the other ones. Oh, I'll use it as a pattern for the other ones. That's pretty delicate. Don't have to do much on that. What I'm going to do is I'll just biface all of these tonight and call it quits as far as the videos go for tonight. It's 35, I think it's 35 degrees in the shop right now, even with the space heater directly on me. It's right there. And it's pointed right at me. Usually I don't have it pointed right at me because it'll blow flakes toward me. But it has to be right on me. The outside temperature is 9 degrees. Outside temperature 9 degrees. I checked. I said, man. When I walked out to the shop earlier, I've been walking back and forth from the shop to the house, but the temperature took a very quick dip. It became very cold all of a sudden. Sure enough, 9 degrees. We got about 4 inches of snow on the ground too. So it's winter. Oh yeah. The sky is clear right now, but they say we're expecting more snow in the next 48 hours. Alrighty. At least part of the sky is clear. I can see some stars and stuff. But I can't see the moon anymore. I saw the moon maybe an hour ago. It doesn't set that fast. So it might be behind some clouds now. Some heavy clouds covering it. Alright, so let's see. I'm trying not to make this too long. Let's just get that curved piece. This is the curved one, right? Let's see what I get from this one after I take out the curve. Do I like working with the bulb of percussion or not the bulb of percussion? Well, sometimes there's incipients in there, so I tend to not like working with the bulb of percussion, so let's get rid of it. And I'm hitting like at a diagonal like this instead of straight in because less chance of snapping it in half that way. That's what I found out. If I hit at 45 like this, there's less chance of snapping it in half with the little bopper. Why? I don't know. I don't know, actually. Apparently, it doesn't bend the material all that much when you strike it at a 45. It still has a curve, so yeah, this is going to end up being the small one. That's it. All right. They're about the same size, almost. So let me make the first one out of this, and then I'll biface the other ones. And then convert the bifaces into preforms. And we should be done. Right, so I'm just going to quickly make... I might not finish it completely. This one here, I just want to quickly make the outline for sure. And maybe thin it down all the way. But I want to get it finished to the point where there's not much more to do, if anything. Before I am sure that I'm going to copy this design. Yeah. And it can't be too complicated because it reduces your chance of success to make a set. I want to make a point out of each and every flake. Guaranteed, right? I'm going to try to guarantee it so the design cannot be too complex. What does that mean? That means if it's a complex design, it's kind of wasteful because it's hard to duplicate in a consistent way. You'll get lots of failures. The more complicated the projectile point, or the more difficult it is to obtain the shape or thinness, the more failures there is going to be. It's just math. It's just the odds. You're rolling the dice, so you try to minimize the risk, if possible, right? That's what I would do. Okay, not off to a good start. This is high grade material, so there's that. It's nice stuff. Yeah. The nicer the stuff, the more chance for success on the set of points also. So the worst thing you could do is try to make complicated arrowheads out of the worst material possible. Yeah. But that's what people want to see me make. It's funny how that works. But yeah, they want to see the rare stuff, the impossible, the stuff that typically was not done. Yeah. Isn't that weird how that works? Can you get good enough to mitigate the risks? Oh yes. It doesn't mitigate them entirely though. And you're only mitigating it for yourself. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone can get good at doing the complicated stuff or the dangerous, not dangerous, but risky, the risky thinning. Not everyone can get good at doing that. You know, you hit a wall and that's it. I might hit a wall myself with my own skill and I'll say, that's it. I can't go any further. Unless I take forever to make the point. The slower I go, the more delicate and the thinner and the more fancy the points get. But that's not good if I want to make a set of points. Like, especially if I was going to be hunting a lot. Yeah. But, you know, this is modern times. I don't have to worry about that. But I think about what they used to go through. To try to figure out how they were made. I do think about how they were made. And it's not just a technique. It's the the whole context of their environment and the skills that they had, the skill levels, the risk taking, the materials available. With Obsidian, it seems like there's almost a limitless supply. Yeah. They've been making Obsidian arrowheads for thousands of years in North America, and there's still bunches of Obsidian on the surface. That means there was a lot before that. Before humans started making arrowheads from that stuff. But even where there's a bunch of obsidian, they still made some out of chert. So they obviously didn't choose it over everything. Maybe it was just too dangerous sometimes. You know, you'll get glass in your eyes and all that. Obsidian in your eyes. So he said, maybe some of them said, no, we're gonna. Obsidian is good for flakes, but not for points, because just spend too much time flaking and you're gonna get flakes in your eyes. So we'll just strike off those simple flakes that only take a few strikes in a few minutes. We won't risk our eyes. Yeah. Go play with the chert for the actual projectile points. Maybe they did, I don't know. That's what I would do. I wouldn't spend too much time with this dangerous stuff. But they say there's in every study so far that I've read, they say in the studies that the Indians would, at every opportunity, use obsidian when available, in preference to other material. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm right. I suppose it just depends on how far away the other material is. If you live right up next to the obsidian, yeah, I'd use it all the time. But if there was chert nearby as well, that could be napped fairly easily. It's a little less risky on the eyes, especially. Not to mention the flakes on the ground that can get stuck in your feet. Obsidian flakes on the ground are insidious. Oh yeah. You had to have very thick-soled shoes. Or very thick calluses on your feet. Yeah, it's still no fun because the obsidian can cut through calluses very easy. Anyways, what else do I talk about? I'm gonna make some birch tar and some birch glue, and gather some spruce gum, and make, you know, or chew on some spruce gum and make spruce glue. I think it'd be better to make spruce glue out of chewed spruce gum than to make spruce glue out of just the rosin and maybe add some, maybe I'll add some asphaltum to the rosin. But I think it might work better just to chew the spruce gum into the consistency of chewing gum and use that. Yeah. Get good at doing it. I need to get good at doing that, creating glues without heat. Spruce gum, the chewing gum variety, is a glue that you can create without heat. Yeah, what about the heating up and straining the sap so you don't chew on little twigs and bugs? I'm going to try to get sap that's not contaminated. Alright? Alright. Good idea? I thought so. Yeah? I always think of good ideas. Yeah. I was thinking, how good of an idea is it to be napping outside, or to be a flint napper in this kind of weather without a dedicated shop specifically for dealing with all this glass dust and all the storage requirements for all the rocks. I don't know how smart it is to just wing it. Eventually I've got to do something about that. The wind does circulate through this little shop fairly well because it's got gaps in the doors and in the wall panels and stuff. The breeze does go through here, but not very fast. It would be best to have an actual ventilation apparatus and a filter and all that. The air filter working in here all the time. If I'm indoors in winter, outside in the summer or in better weather, it's not a big deal. It's the winter that's I gotta prepare for. Imagine that. Maybe I'll shift to not napping in winter. That's an idea. No, don't do that. We need the napping. Besides, not all of us have winter. It's not fair. Yeah, not all of us have winter. I chose to live here because I like the change of seasons. That's one reason. The other reason is it's forest and water and trees and plants, and it's not the desert with dust storms and blazing sun, cactus, insects most of the year bugging you, flies upon flies upon flies. None of that. Here they do have flies, but the season is not as long as it is in the south. And it does have, there's lots of mosquitoes, but the season again is not as long as the south. I'm far enough north where a lot of the animals are different too. Yeah, and it smells different. It smells like forest. It doesn't smell like desert. It doesn't smell like dust. It smells like leaves. Yeah. It does have kind of an industrial smell here too. I don't know. I can't figure out where it's coming from. Maybe just everyone burning firewood and burning the heating oil. But I get that industrial smell in the summertime too. So I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're burning something to power the electric plant. I thought most of the electricity is generated by hydroelectric around here, but maybe not. Anyways. I gotta deal with it sooner or later. Yeah. Deal with the shop issues, the dust. Okay, so I'll stop messing with this in a minute. I'm just making sure I'm going to take it down to the final dimensions almost. I still got some room to mess with it. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do for notching. Let's see, what kind of notching do I like to do that's not so risky? I don't know. Anyone want to take a guess? No notches? Yeah, that's an excellent guess, actually. Just a triangular, yeah. Easy peasy. But no, I'll do the semi-corner. Semi-corner notching. It's almost in the corner. But I gotta thin this down a little bit more. Yeah. I'm not gonna worry about flaking it fully and getting rid of the original flake scar. Nope. No. It's a lot of these points I think are gonna have some of the original flake scar. And they're not gonna be fully flaked. Okay? Alright. Why? It increases the chance of success if you don't fuss with it too much. And you can utilize flakes more easily. I'm thinning it. That's what I'm doing now. I'm not worried about a bolt. I'm not worried about the original flake scar. Although, did I just remove it? Or is it still there? Where'd it go? I'm not even kidding. Did I remove it just because I was thinning? Yeah, I think I did remove it. In the act of thinning it, I removed it. Okay. It still has a slight curve. See that? The tip is going down this way. Still. A slight curve is not bad. That's not good. That's not good either. What's going on? Come on. Stop trying to take the curve out because it's going to come back to bite you. If you fuss too much, you end up with a step fracture somewhere you don't want it. Try to thin the thin point. What time is it? 24 minutes? Okay. Yeah, I gotta stop messing with this. Let me just take a couple more flakes here. The first one's gonna be near perfect because it's gonna be used as a pattern. First one's always the hardest, I think. That's what matters. Yeah. What I think is what matters. If I'm doing the napping, it matters what I think. Yeah. Is that much straighter? Yeah, perfect. Now, here it is. The magic tool that I have not shown how to make. I know, I remember. I have a hard enough time remembering to do what I'm supposed to be doing, other than making or doing a demonstration on how to make tools. I got other stuff I want to do. But yeah, I gotta set that up also. I need to make more tools, so I gotta set up a little area to make a bunch of these. And all I need to do is get my drill press out of the storage unit. I make these with drill press. Make the holes because it makes it much straighter. I can do it freehand, but it's always crooked. No matter what I do, if I drill freehand, it's always crooked, which is it's not bad. The pressure flakers don't need to be perfect, but it just annoys me. It's one of those things that's annoying. ADD or ADHD is annoyed by the crooked pressure flaking tips. Yeah. It causes disgust. Just like when people see thickness in a point, in an arrowhead, it causes disgust. It still works if the point is thick. But it just, somehow the human brain doesn't like it. Doesn't like step fractures and crackliness either. It still works. Okay. Yeah, this appears to be the easiest style for me, I guess. The easiest style with some attractiveness to it. Yeah. And the side notched variety is pretty nice looking too, but it doesn't appeal to me as much as this corner notch or bezel / corner. It's not actually in the corner because I'm preserving the corner. I didn't knock off the corner. I knocked off part of the base. Yeah, so it's bezel notched in the corner region. And the entry, see that? It's not a narrow entry, which makes it much easier to accomplish. The side notches, I tend to want to make them narrow entry if I go in from the side because it looks a little bit cooler. Looks a little bit more awesomer. But it makes it more difficult. Much more difficult to accomplish, especially if I want to do a lot of points. Because to get it right, it takes time. If you slow it down, you can get the narrow entry thing done pretty reliably. But then you sacrifice the number of points you're able to make in a short period of time. You get into the syndrome where you're still working on that? Really? When are we gonna go? We're burning daylight. Still working on it. It's gotta be beautiful. Well, you're gonna end up hunting by yourself because we're leaving. Yeah, but you got equipment that looks stupid. Yeah, but there's more of us that look stupid than one of you. You keep that up, you're gonna end up getting all your stuff stolen. What you gonna do then? We're gonna take all your stuff. Okay, fine. I'll make do with what I got, okay? Alright. Let's go. And that's the story. The end. Wash, rinse, repeat throughout history. If you take too long doing something, people don't like it. And for good reason. So why did they take so much time doing stuff? Well, I don't know. That's the mystery we need to figure out. If we can, maybe we can't. One way to get around that problem is if you have a certain number of people in the tribe that are doing nothing but arrowheads. That's all they do all day. Nothing else. Then they don't have to go on a hunting trip. They're not going to hold anybody up. They just spend all their time doing arrowheads for everybody else, or for most of the other guys. Some of the other guys can probably do it on their own, but if you have 1, 2, or 3, or maybe a little group of guys, all they do is just arrowheads all day, and somebody else feeds them. Yeah, I can see when I can see them making fancy stuff. I can see that maybe that is a reasonable thing. But if it's everybody for themselves, making fancy stuff doesn't make sense. And when you have a small group, it's usually everyone for themselves. Because you have to, you can't really depend on others when there's just a small group. You depend on each other, but everyone has to be very good at everything. Because you lose one person in a small group, and there goes the only person that knows how to do it. Whereas if it's a big group, there's many people that know how to do it. And if you lose one, it's okay. We still got more that know how to do it. But a small group, if you try to specialize and you lose that person, fell out of a tree, broke his neck, and now what do? We got no arrowheads. Now everyone's got to spend, 3-4 years learning how to do it. No, we all learned. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, just for this purpose, just in case he fell out of a tree, because he likes to get those. He likes to get those pawpaw fruits. Yeah. He had a sweet tooth, that napper. So we said one of them days he's gonna fall out of that tree. Sure enough. He was a good napper though. Gotta admit. The end. Story number 2. Alright, so we're going to make a bunch like this. Okay? Okay. You know how it's going to go, right? You know how it's going to go. See, I barely have enough width. So here we go. It might not be perfect, but it'll be there. I'm going to do it. See, I barely have enough room. Barely. Alright. And they don't have to be exact, because when you look at the archaeological record, they're not exact. So that's not an excuse. It's just the practicality. Yep. We take it for granted in our industrial age that we can stamp these things out. Exact. Yep. Yep. Yeah, as soon as this goes to an hour, I am going to stop. Even if I haven't done all the preforms. I am cold. It's like sitting in a freezer. It's like, let's see. Yeah, it's now below 34. It's like 34 or 33 degrees. It's not a digital readout on my thermometer. It's a dial. The kind that I can't read easily. It's not one of those. It has that level on there. I have one that has a dial. Because it only costs like $5. Because, you know, I buy it at the discount store. Everything at the discount store is messed up in some way. So apparently I'm not the only one that has trouble reading them dials. A dial indicator. I mean, there's a delay. There's a delay in the processing. Anyway, I'm looking up over there. Is it 32, 35, 33? Somewhere around there. So it's like napping in a freezer. Does it affect the stone? Not that I can tell. I can't tell. If it is affecting it, it's extremely subtle. I think I cracked it. See that crack? Dang it. I might not get him. I might not get it. See that? I think there's a crack right there. But it doesn't go through to the other side. I don't see it. I took back this edge. I don't see it on this side, so maybe it's not too bad. Dang it. When am I going to catch a break? Never. Yeah, you just caught right there. Not that kind of break. I don't want that kind of break. Yeah, not the literal type. Man, those are easy. Yeah, if you wish for bad luck, you're going to get it. That's easy. I remember one Calvin and Hobbes cartoon where I forget which one's Calvin and which one's Hobbes. I think Calvin is the boy. The little boy was talking about ambition and doing great things and Hobbes was making a sandwich. And then Calvin says, "What do you think?" And Hobbes is like, "Well, I'm just worried about making a sandwich. That's it." And not only am I only worried about making a sandwich, and that's it. I don't even need to dream about it. Because it's right here. I got it already. And it's not even hard. It's easy peasy. You know, that was the gist of the cartoon. Yeah, and Calvin's like, yeah, I hate you. I hate you. No ambition. Loser. That kind of thing. But you gotta think about the odds. Especially in Flintknapping. It'll teach you to do risk management. Yep. What do you want? Something easy and right now and satisfying? Make yourself the easy peasy sandwich, or go after the great things, amazing and remarkable, the impossible and the fantastic. Which one? It makes people angry when you go for the easy stuff. It does. Yeah. Not that I'm against going for the amazing and the impossible and the supercalifragilistic. I'm not against it. I'm just saying it depends on what you're doing. Yeah. It does depend on what you're doing. Let's see. All right. I'm not going to go for the impossible on this piece. On these pieces, I'm going to try to get away with very little risk. Try to. Dang it. It's doing its crackly thing. Okay. I don't have much room, so I gotta be careful. It also depends on the attitude. The better your attitude, the more difficult knappings you can actually accomplish. If you choke on the knapping, it affects it. If you choke on the idea of a certain thing that you're doing, like, I don't know if I can do it, then you probably can't. Yeah, that's the way it goes. It's self-fulfilling. I don't know, I think that's a natural crack in there. It's pretty much gone, but I don't like it. It's right there. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be causing any weakness. It would have snapped by now if it was a really bad crack. Yeah. I'm putting a little pressure on the edge. I'm using up all my space. I don't have much room at all. It's I don't know. Yeah. Okay. The barbs are already going to be less wide on this one than the other one, but just a little bit, not too much. I just want to get it to where it's thin enough and there's no issues. I gotta make sure that crack is not gonna pose a problem, and then I can move on. And look at it and see, make a determination if I'm going to be able to thin it down more with the width that I have, as long as it doesn't get too narrow, I'll be able to thin it down. See, if I don't have enough meat on the edge, I won't be able to send in long flakes. That's a consideration. If it's too thin, I'm not taking into account what needs to happen a little bit later. It makes it a little bit easier to visualize the process when you're copying an item instead of just doing it out of memory. You can visualize the process of how much to thin it, how much to leave, how much meat to leave in the middle, how thin the stem and the base need to be to fit in the haft. It's all much easier to visualize and to plan for if you have a pattern and some gauges to check your progress. It's easier for me to do this with percussion. I get nappers cramped too fast with the pressure flaking. I'm already starting to get nappers cramp in this hand, this wrist. Discomfort enough to interfere with the napping is called nappers cramp. Nappers cramp. When your discomfort level starts to interfere with the napping. When you're napping, you have to deal with at least a small amount of discomfort while you're napping. Yeah. No, you don't. I must be doing it wrong. I always have some level of discomfort. Because it's work. It's labor. It's labor intensive. I'm all crouched over, so mainly what bothers me is my back. But if I start doing the pressure flaking a lot, the wrists start to get bothered, the shoulder, the eyes. I have to focus my eyes constantly in a small area for a long period of time. At the same distance, you know. It's not like I can look back and forth at different objects at different distances. I'm focused at the same spot, at the same distance for a very long time. There's discomfort. Alright, so I don't think there's an issue with the crack in the side right there. Hold on. Just to be sure. Alright. It looks suspicious. Can you see it? No. It looks suspicious. It looks like it might have... See, you can kind of tell if it opens up near the edge, but it doesn't seem to be opening up near the edge. You know, you'll see where there'll be a piece missing if you strike right on the crack. Like I just struck right on it to do this flake right there. And usually, if it's weak right at the crack, it'll break right here. But it didn't. So it looks like that crack might be just a healed area. It's not a healed area. It's just weird. Obsidian doesn't have healed areas, I don't think. You know, with a natural crack that develops and then heals later on and over time in the earth. I don't know. But I'm going to leave it. Okay. That's the preform for this. See that? It still has a little bit of meat on it for thinning. It has meat on the edge is what I mean. It has meat on the edge and areas where I can strike. It's not too thin to get it thinned down the same. Yeah, it's a nice material. Luckily, it's cool. It's nice. All right, next. Is it an hour yet? Ooh, it's almost an hour. Let's do this. These will be much easier, the bigger ones. Let's do the other one that's going to be a little bit difficult. Which one? This one is straight, so that's not that difficult. This is just a trim around the edges one. This one it requires a little bit more finesse to try to figure out where it's going to be. Where is that arrowhead going to be? Right there? That would seem like the best spot. Not on this side. That's too curvy. It's going to have to be right in here like that. Yeah? Not like that. I gotta get rid of that side. Okay, where's the little... Yes, yes. See, I might be causing some incipient cracks when I use the Abrader like a hammerstone. Yeah. If I notice that is becoming an issue, then I won't do it no more. If I'm smart. Sometimes I just do it anyway. Keep doing it. Because it's fast. And if it breaks, it's okay, because if I'm going fast, I can make another one. In record time. Does the bopper create incipient cracks? Oh yeah. Just doesn't seem to create as much as the Abrader. Come on. There. I'm trying to sneak up on it. That's why I miss. Slowly. Oops. See, that was too high up. Sneak up on it. Yeah, like that. So I'm using this preform now because it doesn't have the delicate barbs. Yeah. So I can be smart. Be smart about it. I know it's a weird concept. Watching these videos. my mindset. Please don't break. Please don't break. Please don't break. Please don't break. Everything is please don't break. Please don't break it. Don't. No, 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 no. No breako, no breako. That's your mindset. That's it. Yeah, pretty much. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. Every time I hit, no, don't break, don't break, don't break. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. That's it. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. Don't break, don't break, don't break. That's it. Don't break in half. And don't break where it's weird. Don't overshoot. Don't bite. Don't break. Leave some room around the outside. See that? Can you see that I left room around the outside? That's it. Next. Ooh, that solves that problem. Yeah, I was trying to figure out where's that arrowhead gonna go. Well, he just solved that problem. My little handy little bopper just solved that problem for me. Yeah. You didn't know it could do that? Now you know. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. Don't break it. Don't break it. Don't break it. You broke it. Gotta watch it. Not supposed to. Don't break, don't break. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Don't break it now. Dang it, that went psh, and it sprayed my eye. Luckily, yeah, I went backwards like this and I just sprayed a bunch of flakes into my face. I don't like that, obviously. This is a weird crack there. Yeah, when I say just trim around the edges, it's easy peasy. Yeah, well, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Of course, with my luck, I keep hitting on the backstroke. I guess I'm getting tired. It flakes up my nose. Don't hit on the backstroke, boys and girls. Don't go psh, 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 psh. On the backstroke, you'll get a face full of little flakes. Dang it, it's so close. I don't even know if it'll work. I don't even know if I like this piece. It's got, see that wonkiness? I might have to just live with that wonkiness. No, don't leave it like wonky because they didn't do that back in the day. They didn't. They didn't. I don't know. I think they did. I don't know. Should I do the indirect percussion thing? Let's see. Let me get this out of the way. Get these out of the way because if I drop something on those, I'll be highly upset. Alright, let's see. It doesn't help that I got the fan pointed right at me, or the heater. When I send flakes up into my face, hold on. The wind carries it even better into my face. The wind from the fan. Better to have radiant heat than it is to have a fan blowing heat. You You might think, well, the fan blows the dust away from your face, doesn't it? Well, yes, but it also, the flakes end up bumping into my face on their way out. Yeah, that's a problem. It's a problem. It's a Flintknapping issue. Got a square edge on this because it broke. And I was trying not to break it, and it still broke. What's my mindset right now? Don't break. 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 No break in half. Don't break in half. Don't break something. That's your mindset? Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. Don't break. That's my mindset the whole time. It's always in the back of my head. It's always in everything you do. If not, guess what? You get to the point where you get used to it, like the ringing in your ears. Get used to it. You get used to constantly thinking about the don't break, don't break, don't break. Okay? I thought your mindset was all like formulas and calculations and eerie music. Suspenseful music. Or things like that. No. I gotta make sure not only that I'm going to try to get a certain flake to go a certain place, it's always in the back of my mind that I better not break it doing that. Or cause some kind of error. Better not bite the edge, better not overshoot, better not crack it, better not shoot a flake into a step, better not end up in a step fracture, better not crunch, better not smash the edge. All that. Come on. See, I'm trying to be careful because the brain says, don't break, don't break, don't break it. Don't break it when you do that. There it goes. Yeah, good time to quit. Yep. I just sprung a leak, so it's time to go in. It's not a big deal, but if I don't put a band-aid on it, where is it? If I don't put a band-aid on it, it'll bug me all night. It'll be itchy. Hold on. Yeah, it'll be itchy all night. Hold on a second. I need to get something. Oh. I was thinking to get something to wipe it with. It's leaking pretty bad. Here we go. Now I can wipe it. Yeah, alright, so I know what you know what? My wipes are going to be frozen. Where did they go? I usually have a bag of wipes, but it won't do any good because they're going to be frozen. Yeah. All right, so I'll just end the video right there. Good as time as any to go inside. So, this is the last one I was working on. I think it'll work. I took the glove off because I wanted to make sure that I was not going to break it. And I didn't break it. But it's so close in the final dimensions, it's going to be difficult to finish out. I'll have to spend a little bit extra time. And this one was supposed to be the easy peasy, just trim around the edges one. It ended up snapping in more places than I thought. So this one was actually easier, the one with the curve in it. Okay, so this is, you know, you do one, like if you skip to the end of the video, what I did was I just did this one as the pattern, came up with the preform, and then from the preform I can make a bunch of other preforms. And then once they're all done, I just put the notches in and sharpen them. Once they're all, you know, preformed out, I'll do the final thinning if necessary, and then put the notches in. But yeah, that's what I use. There's two patterns. The original is used to make the preform, and then the preform is used to make the duplicates. And then as your final finishing, you can use the final one also. But you don't mess with this too much. This is the one that gets all the abuse, the preform. In this case. What do they, well, I used the, see this one will break too easy, so I'm worried about it. I think in the other video I used this one, I messed with it quite a bit to get the set. I think I did 2 only though, right? Yeah. If I, see, I need to do 8 pieces, right? There's 4 in there and there's 4 here, yeah. So I don't want to break the first one. I'm gonna have 8 pieces. End up with 8 pieces. Okay. All right. Clear as mud. This one is the next most difficult one because I'm not sure if that has enough meat in there. In the center area, I think I'll be all right. Yeah. Just get rid of this part. Or I can use either side. Yeah, I can use either half. What is the final dimensions? Is this a little dart point? I think it can be used as a dart point or an arrowhead. Inch and 3/16 wide. The stem is the neck. I mean, it's almost a 1/2 inch wide neck. So I think it qualifies as a little dart point. Yeah. This is my standard 7/16 inch diameter. A little bit less than a 1/2 inch. Standard at little dart point. 4 shaft. Perfect. Let's take a picture. Staring at it so much, just take a picture. Alright, I'll just take a picture. It's too thin. It slips. Okay. So there you go. I'm going to put this in there. It's too thin for that too. All right. That's it.